Open House Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I am Tokwe Mark Odige, and with me, as usual, are the ladies. It's a full house of glam. Like everybody's just slaying on different levels. How you doing?
I'm fine. Yesterday, I had an event. So, Seed Foundation that you know that I work with as an ambassador, and we organize a teachers training to teach them on how to teach students my book. To be able to teach them my book, and it's really just about teaching our children about the environment. You know, Seed Foundation is focused on like the low-income schools. You know, where many Nigerian students are. So, and usually when I do my book readings, and I do like mostly private schools, but this information is for every Nigerian child.
Very important.
So this was just an event to teach the teachers, because I can't be everywhere. I would love to be, to teach the teachers how to read the book to the children. And also we did a little bit on environmental protection, teach them how to teach the kids about environmental protection. So we've given them projects. They'll go back to their various schools, come up with various projects in line with environmental protection, and then we'll see.
Well done.
So I really love that.
Great. Wonderful initiative.
That's cool.
Again, I got to read a storybook in house, and there was another group that was there to teach as well, and they had a storybook in house, and I got to read it on camera.
That's so cool. Your Hausa is
flawless.
I can read Hausa very well. In fact, I read it better than I speak it. I don't know how.
That's good. I'm sure that will ginger somebody to go back and pick up an Hausa book and a book in Hausa and read it. You know. How you doing, Chika? Good to have you on our weekday show.
I haven't been here in a while. I feel so excited to be with you, wonderful ladies.
Your hair
absolutely
is
amazing. Thank you so much. Yours is fantastic as well. I guess the main thing on everybody's lips in Nigeria right now is the heat wave. It's funny how we 16-year-olds are already feeling like we just hit menopause. That's how bad the heat is. It makes you feel like, are you sure?
What's going on? What is it internal heat or what is going on?
The exhaustion that this brings on, it is. Global warming is real, guys. So I'm just saying to everyone, start to plant trees around. Because I noticed that, you know, I live in a house where the entire environment is all plants and trees. I'm a farmer. In the evenings, it gets really cool. You know, as opposed to people who just have brick
even
and
in
mortar.
the afternoon, like I have people that come visit me in the afternoon. It's cooler. So cool.
There's shades everywhere.
Yeah, so
please plant. Developers, start planting.
Yes,
start planting in your development.
We are using the land.
I know that every square meter is important, but
every square meter is money. That's gold.
You have space, no matter how small.
We need to take it under advisement.
We'll take it under. We'll set up a high-powered committee. Okay. The Redder Association.
What has not been committed.
Also be hydrated. The weather is too hot for you not to drink water. Water is your friend. Even if you don't like it, this season, drink a lot of water.
But I try.
Yes, you have to. How you doing?
I'm doing well. So there's been a lot in the offing. This month, 28th of March, we're going to be celebrating 5 years of House of BC.
Not easy.
Yes. And we're planning to have a party in the store.
Awesome.
That day, we're selling everything 50% discount. So come to the store, there'll be food, there'll be drinks, there'll be dancing. You come and shop, and the sales will be going on for just 1 week. After that, we'll go back to our original prices. In fact, when I said we're doing 50%, my sales girl fainted. Are you sure about this? We're not making anything this one. We're not making. I said, don't worry. I'm just happy that we are going gradually. We are moving. The business is moving gradually, and I'm grateful to God for everything. So I'm looking forward to seeing all of you and all of you watching right now.
Fantastic.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yesterday I had an amazing time at a real estate training that I went in last minute. The man came on our show, Mr. Adelaja. He was on our show last week Wednesday, and he was talking about this program next week Wednesday. And I was on the fence before. I just now sent a message and I made payment, and I got into the place and I found the CEO of Adron, the CEO of Roland. Like it was. Like higher, and they sat all through.
And they paid to come.
Yes, it was a very informative class. We had 2 lecturers from LBS break down what has made real estate businesses fail in the past 20 years in Nigeria and how we can prevent it as real estate developers. It was a study. I loved it. But we're still celebrating women all through the month. So as part of our celebration of International Women's Month, we would like to show a short clip to celebrate older women who have succeeded in their lives. Watch this clip right now.
duty of women cannot be emphasized.
I feel fulfilled. I feel as though I've done what I can. I feel as though women are out there trying to do what they can. I appreciate everybody who has helped me to reach now.
But the real fun
Major headline: Rivers lockjaw. No truce yet between Fubara lawmakers. Brickbat over budget presentation. Of course, you can't miss the picture of the aftermath of the fatal scene of Tuesday's night gas tanker explosion under Utedola Bridge. Really sad. In other news, we have Ondo picked as preferred bidder for lease of Garaga refinery in Trinidad and Tobago. The Office of the National Security Advisor to Iran arrested EID manufacturers, U.S. Center for Nigeria. Tinubu's reforms attracted $17 billion as investment in 2024. Senate: Natasha suspended for breaking rules, misconduct. Shops, goods worth billions gone in Ibadan market fire. And gains of president's economic policies by Shetima. What story are we starting with?
So many shops were raised at the plastic section of the popular Allesuya markets, Ibadan Southwest. Allesuya, yeah, local government area in Ibadan. They said authorities could not confirm the cause of the fire, but some sources said it started about 10 p.m. on Tuesday night, and goods worth hundreds of millions of naira were burnt. They said most affected shop owners could not even recover any item from the inferno. Now, the National Emergency Management Authority by the Operations Center confirmed that about 1,000 shops were affected and 500 owners fell victim. Wow. They said by the time the nation visited the market yesterday morning, it was observed that some sections were even still burning while smoke was oozing out from other parts. They said a 15,000-liter water tank was seen in the middle of the market while some men and women were still trying to put out the fire. The thick smoke notwithstanding, they said they saw men, women, children, everybody just scooping water from the, the hose to quench the shops. And it was just pathetic because many sympathizers were just there. Many of the shop owners were just in shock. They didn't know how to start, how to lament, nothing. It was just very painful. I hope they could find, what really caused the fire.
And they have insurance, hopefully. I have the story on Natasha.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So according to reports, the Senate yesterday has clarified that Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan was suspended for 6 months due to gross misconduct and not her claims of sexual harassment. This statement was given by the Senate leader, Koyemi Bamidele, And he has said that contrary to the deliberate misinformation and false narratives that are circulating in the media, that she was suspended for violation of standing rules. And just more on that story, as we know, now the spokesman for Akpabio, the camp from Senate President Godswill Akpabio, has dismissed the authority of the Inter-Parliamentary Union to compel him to appear before its panel over the suspension of Senator Natasha from the National Assembly. On Tuesday, we know that Senator Natasha went before the IPU, a United Nations agency, to lodge a complaint against the Nigerian Senate and the Senate President Akpabio. However, in an interview, Eyibo has insisted that the Senate President was under no obligation to honor any invitation from the IPU, arguing that the matter was an internal parliamentary issue.
Yeah. And I have the United States is working closely with the federal government to establish a counter-improvised explosive device center in Nigeria. Major General Adamulaka made this known at a symposium on countering improvised IEDs in Abuja, which was organized by the Office of the National Security Advisor on ONSA in collaboration with the US and British government. So he said that the British government established a counter-IED center in the northeast, particularly in Maiduguri. They are working closely with the United States government as well. He says Britain and the US have been training our troops for the past 4 years, and this has greatly impacted the proficiency of our troops in identifying IEDs, preventing such incidents, and also reacting, after such an incident. They said samples are taken from the IED sites to the laboratory at the center to find out those materials that are used, so that we'll be able to know where our focus will be on restricting such materials getting into the wrong hands. I hope I find it. So there's a particular material. So they said materials like urea, fertilizer in the northeast, which terrorists use that to manufacture explosives. And now they know that, they said that they're already being they got some suspects. They arrested some suspects who are detained and will be arraigned soon. One of the major threats to troops and civilians infrastructure in the fight against terrorism are these IEDs that insurgents have found a way to make and to manufacture. And they say that even though now they know this is a major material that they use, and it's sort of like a cap on it, but these are materials that the insurgents can get from anywhere else. So this is also a way they're going to start educating citizens on the need on sort of materials that insurgents can use for manufacturing these IEDs. So that they can also
are improvised explosive devices.
Yeah,
and they are the ones they use in carrying out attacks. For those that
what we call bomb here.
Bomb. We just call it bomb. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with the front page review. Please stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. I want what I want.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we'll continue front page review with the Punch major headline. Lagos Calabar Highway project wasteful, corrupt, says Obasanjo. Also says Tinubu ignored protest against the 15 trillion naira coastal highway project. False 21 billion naira spent on VP's residence. In other news, Lagos unveils economic development update. Ledu 2025. I think anybody that runs business in Lagos should go and read it. Tinubu overrules Akode's panel. Backs Obasa to remain speaker. Natasha IPU can't summon Akpabio, says spokesman. We've taken that story already. Ondo killings, survivors recount ordeal. Ayedatiwa pledges tight security. PDP crisis, Wike camps kick as Ikeme panel recommends Ironwood's expulsion. Okay, what news are we starting with?
Major headline. So the former president Olusegun Obasanjo has described the 15.6 trillion Lagos Calabar Coastal Highway project as wasteful and corrupt. He also slammed the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's administration for spending 21 billion on new office residence for the vice president's Kashim Shettima. He called it a misplaced priority and conduit designed to embezzle public funds. So that's Obasanjo now disclosed this in chapter 6 of his new book, Nigeria Past and Future, where he painted the portrait and character of chief executive at both the federal and state levels. He said the book was also one of the 2 new books unveiled to mark his 88th birthday last week. Now, we know that the Minister of Works, David Umahi, had revealed that the 700-kilometer Lagos-Calabar Coastal Highway will cost 4.9 billion per kilometer, and that the contract was awarded on a counterpart funding basis, not a public-private, counterpart funding, Okay. So it says about 1.6 trillion has been released for the pilot phase, which is about 6% of the project, and it's starting at Eko Atlantic and is expected to terminate at the Lekki Deep seaport. Now, many prominent Nigerians, including the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party 2023, that's Atiku Abubakar, had questioned the government's decision to award the contract to Gilbert Chagori High-Tech Construction Company without competitive bidding. They said that the company belongs to our president's old-time friend and business partner. I said 2 years in office, that it appears that the game they are playing is just shortchanging over 230 million Nigerians. Everything is said to be transactional. The slogan on the street is my turn to chop. He said a lot of things, but the criticisms were not here. So there's no time. So I would like people to go and read the paper in the Punch. Yes.
All right. Other news. What's happening?
Ondo State Governor Lucky Aiyedatiwa has assured residents of the state that his administration will strengthen security and equip security agencies to combat rising insecurity, particularly in Akure North local government area. So last Saturday, if you recall, there was what has been described as a deadly attack that left about 14 people dead, and there was also an abduction of 9 surveyors, but in Ilu Abo community. But they said that as a result of the abduction, it sparked protests. Hundreds of women came out and they were released. But then you have some survivors, talking about their reacting to the attack. So the regent of Ademekun community, Princess Kemisola Adilowo, has expressed her distress over the killings. She's calling on the state government to deploy security personnel to further prevent assaults. She says the attackers came to our village on Saturday, killed 14 people. I received calls that two more people had been killed by the herdsmen, and they were threatening to kill me. That's why I'm crying out loudly to the governor. It's been reported that the governor initially, denied that such a thing happened, but obviously he has
evidence to back up.
Yes, with evidence now he's accepted and he's reaffirming his commitment to his people. I
have a story on a Lagos sweeper. I actually saw this video yesterday, and it was one of the most compelling things I have seen. You could feel the anguish in her eyes and in her voice. A Lagos State street sweeper who works with the Lagos State Waste Management Agency has spoken out against alleged exploitation by her superiors, citing poor earnings and harsh working conditions. This video has gone viral on social media. The sweeper didn't reveal her name, but she accused her supervisors of shortchanging workers and failing to implement the approved salary structure. She alleged that despite reports that her salary had been increased to 85,000 naira since August 2024,
wow,
sweepers are continuing to receive 30,000 naira, and this has been ongoing for months.
Hey.
She said also that the workers were also left to bear the cost of their work tools without any allowance. She raised concerns over the delay in salary payments, noting that sometimes a monthly salary often arrives by the 13th or 15th of the following month. She said people should help also and ask these people. I'm very sure it's not blood running in their veins, because I don't understand why you are cheating us. We know you are our bosses. You sat in your office. You don't pity those of us working on the road. We buy brooms, no allowance. We learned that the salary had been increased since August last year. Still, we're still receiving 30.
No, these allegations need to be investigated.
Absolutely, and I hope that this doesn't backfire on her in any way, because her face is out there.
But like, one person needs to make the sacrifice.
Yes, absolutely.
But this is really sad story, and I'm hoping that the investigation will be public and the results will be seen by all. Justice must be done. Moving on to Daily Sun, major headline: nothing wrong if Rivers Assembly wants to impeach Fubara. That's from Wiki. Minister hits governor for disrespecting Tinubu's intervention, says Pandef most unreliable. In other news, we've taken the story of Natasha, and but this is a different perspective, where women group seek end to patriarchal structure suppressing female leadership. And PDP women leader says going to the UN parliamentary was unwise and premature. Tinubu meets Lagos Assembly members, 20 billion naira compensation. Igboho drags AGF DSS to Supreme Court, seeks reversal of appeal court judgment. Apex Court clears EFCC to probe ex-governor Odili's tenure. And alleged terrorism, new judge fixes March 21 for Nnamdi Kanu's trial. There's an interesting story. I don't know who has it. Abuja sex worker loses battle to legalize prostitution. Who has that story?
No, I have it too.
Tell us the gist.
So, the Abuja Division of the Federal High Court has dismissed a suit seeking fundamental rights for commercial sex workers in the Federal Capital Territory to operate without intimidation from security agencies of the federal government. So, throwing out the suit, Justice James Omotosho held that the commercial sex workers were even liable to be arrested and prosecuted for a jail term of 2 years under the criminal law known as Penal Code, as they have no legal rights to enjoy any known law or constitution of the Federation. So they have filed the suit initially to see how they can stop arresting, because we've been hearing stories of raiding their houses, arresting them, raping them and everything. So this particular NGO was the one that filed the suit, and by the time the judge was throwing out the case, I want to get the NGO that filed the suit. Alert, okay, that's Lawyers Alert Initiative for Protection of Rights of Children, Women and Indigents against the Abuja Environmental Protection Board. So by the time they filed the suit, the judge said, you people should be ashamed of yourself in the first place. They are supposed to be teaching these women to do better, to stay away from prostitution, to be able to have that, self-respect, self-love, blah, 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 blah. You are still asking that we allow them to go and sell their body. Quoted some parts of the Constitution that their body is not meant to be sold, blah, 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 blah. So kicked it out of the...
How about the other types of prostitution?
We should know exploitation is what we're trying to kick.
How about those that Pay for it.
The other types that we have.
How about those that pay for it?
Small girl,
big girl, the
those ones don't have a place where they stay.
I see.
It's hidden.
I see.
So if
Okay,
you
so
hide,
is that we should upgrade the...
we should package it well now.
That's what we can take. I know you wanted to take the Natasha women and Pachaka, but was sadly out of time. That's what we can take on front page review for today. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with our hot topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. I choose to close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Say recap done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now, his name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym, though. You're getting fat. Cricket.
She says she does pole dancing to empower women.
What's the difference? There's a difference.
That's what I'm saying. So pole dancer,
you're already almost naked. You're already almost naked.
No, it's the empowerment for me.
Sex can make a relationship better.
No.
Sex can never be overrated.
It is needed.
Especially when it's good sex too. Almost every guy has been with somebody's girl.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. In continuation of our series of interviews with women to commemorate this year's International Women's Month, today on the show we have a woman with unstrained appetite for excellence. She's a certified accountant, also an astute publisher. She is the publisher of Ladies in Business magazine Global. Welcome to the show, Ambassador Adeshola Helen Onodikpe. To join the conversation with her, which will be starting in a short while, you can call us on 09024163440 or tweet to us. We'd love to hear from you. And I'm used to saying tweet, but it is now X. X.com. Hashtag YourViewTVC. Welcome to the show, ma'am.
Good morning.
Ambassador.
Good morning.
It's such a pleasure to have you. Your CV is loaded. You've done so many things. As in, like, you've lived many lives. I was thinking I'll be seeing someone with all grey hair, but you came here looking very young and funky.
I'm just 47.
Yeah. So, welcome.
Thank you so much. It's my great pleasure to be here. Thank you.
So, of course, we'd like to ask, how did you get into so many different things? Like, where did you start from, and how did you touch so many areas of industry? Like, you did a fashion show in UAE, you have a magazine, you've interviewed many people. Like, how did you get into all these things?
Thank you so much. You see, it's a beautiful journey for me. And I must say that it's very crucial for one to pass through certain journey in your life. And as you go through the journey, you're going to know which one is actually in for you or the one that is meant for you along the line. So I used to be a banker, of course, in Nigeria with 3 banks, Oceanic Bank then, FCMB and GTB. So, I mean, being in the banking industry really has broadened my, shaping my lifestyle and everything. So I left the banking industry to start my own business, which was the first one, event management.
Cool.
And because I'm from Ogun State, we are Ijebu people. We love parties.
The business will thrive.
Absolutely. So it was an easy platform for me. For me to just scale through to start doing that. I mean, we can organize events at the tips of our fingers. So I started with that, but while I was, on that line of business, I realized that there are a lot of women that are doing so many, wonderfully well for themselves, including me. And I was like, what's happening? Who is showcasing all these people? How can all these people be heard, seen, and recognized? And I said, do we have a platform whereby we can showcase all these people? And I was like, okay, let's create a magazine. Yes, I found out, there's some magazines for women, but I said, no. There should be a particular one that will be able to transcend them from stage A to stage B while they grew. Because, for all the big women out there, they all started from somewhere. They didn't just jump the gun. So there are stages that they've passed through. So I said, let's have Ladies in Business magazine where all these women will be seen, known and recognized for their effort, no matter what effort that they are trying to do, for as long as they are moving from a stage to another stage. And it's quite a bit difficult that, in the media industry, we just want to showcase the celebrities or the big women or the known names.
Glam.
You understand? But that's fine. But I said, no, we can't leave these ones behind. Let's help them to navigate through their journey. The magazine itself, I'm a victim of what I created because I want to be seen, heard, and recognized. Exactly. So I started with the magazine journey, and it was fantastic. And then I said, there's another thing. Let's applaud all these people for their efforts. Let's help them. Because in Abraham Maslow hierarchy of women wants, he mentioned self-esteem. There is a way you give someone, a pat at the back to let them know that they are doing well, so that they can do more. Right. So I invented She Global Awards International in 2019. Yeah. So this award is categorically meant for women that are doing so well for themselves. And we have different categories. And really, when we had the first She Awards event, it was more or less like an emotional event. You start hearing people saying, for the past 20 years, for the past 15 years, this is the first time somebody is recognizing me. And I feel I'm not doing a lot. And I said to myself, oh God, I have a lot to do. So, I left Nigeria. I went to United Arab Emirates.
All right, thank you very much. See you later.
And I was in Dubai. Yeah. So I went to Dubai. And again, the same thing, is going on there. So I literally, transcend everything,
that you were doing
that
here.
I was doing in Nigeria there. And therefore, I realized that we should have something like a link, like a gap to bridge between Africa and Arab region. No feeling that Nigerians are always going to Dubai to trade and do business and what have you. So I got there again. I said, you know what? Let's create African Arab Women Chamber of Commerce. And let's find a way to, bring these two Arab regions together. We all know that, gone in the days we see, where trade is being done through camel, passed through deserts and what have you. So it's still on. Though because of the little bit of Nigeria and UAE issue, which I believe both governments will see to it and make it happen once again. So African Arab Women Chamber of Commerce is actually a platform where women from both regions can actually come together for networking, for business collaboration. And at the end of the day, it will bring a lot of economy empowerment to both regions.
Don't finish everything your CV now. You have done so many things. So I'm interested in the Business Innovation Academy.
Yes.
What did you create the academy for, and what sort of impact has it made so far?
Thank you so much. That's a lovely part of my journey also, because after leaving the banking industry, it was a bit difficult for me to know the kind of business I should do. So Business Innovation Academy is a platform where, it's an academy where we literally train people on what to do, where, to whom are your target audience, because you can't just start doing something. And you need to do something born out of your own passion. Like I used to say, everything that I'm doing, I'm loving it and I'm enjoying it, because it's something that I love, at the tip of my finger that I can just get them done. So we ensured and tailored them to do what they love doing, because there'll be a crisis time when you're not making sale and when there's no business. Are you going to drop it to start doing something else? No, but you find some people that are not focused. I'll drop a shoe today, you start selling clothes tomorrow, I'll drop this day, So, but if you're focused and you're dedicated and you have passion towards whatever you're doing, you will continue. During the storm, during the rain, you will continue to stick it out. So that is what the academy it's all about.
So another thing that I find interesting, given for someone, you have a accounting background, you're talking about business, and then now there's a Miss Nigeria UAE. Why a beauty pageant, and why do you think it's important?
It is important, my darling, because that is the project, that is the best platform for us to project Africa, or especially Nigeria, in a proper, projection, positive image. The way they see girls in the United Arab Emirates, especially blacks, of course, Nigerians they've all, just coming there for prostitution and what have you. We need to let them know that apart from being beautiful, we are intelligent, we are resilient, and we're all everything that you can call great. And that is why the Miss Nigeria UAE was created. Actually, I started in the celebration of the Nigeria Independence Day. Again, is another platform that I wanted to project Nigeria positively in order to aid and let the people there see, we are good people. I'm a good person and I'm from Nigeria.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah.
I know what most pageants look like.
Yeah.
So what are you doing it the same as most pageants? What are you doing differently? What does it look like?
Actually, we normally used to celebrate it during the National Independence Day. So it's part of the program. So we actually bring in all Nigerian fashion designers on board and bring them to exhibit their product, their fashion line. And also we invite all girls, all young ladies from 18 to 25 from Dubai, for them to participate. Of course, they must be Nigerian. So we showcase their talent. We let them know about what Nigerians are all about.
Bikinis?
No bikinis.
That was when you people wanted to go to.
Want to find out what UAE would say about that?
No. We don't do bikinis. We basically, project the fashion lines of African or Nigerian designers in Dubai. Yes.
All right, so now we know that in life change is the only constant thing. So talk to us about the African change movement. What pain points were you trying to really touch on and address with this particular movement?
Thank you very much. When I arrived Dubai, it was very difficult. And I was like, okay, what do I do? And you see, Nigerians especially, packing themselves in Dera, upon landing in Dubai. I was like, no, I didn't come for Dera, and I'm not part of Dera people. And that's the problem most of people used to make. When you are going to a new place, yeah, it's okay to do home-based people to be doing the parako thing, but find a way where you can inculcate yourself to the system, with the people, to study their culture, their religion, so that you won't misbehave. You understand? So African Change Movement is a platform where we educate Nigerians upon arriving Dubai. Okay, what do you want to do? Okay, what are you doing? Is there any problem? Do you want to go to work? Do you want to start working? Do you want to learn something?
So, really, I love what you're saying, especially because the things we've heard about Dubai and what Nigerians have done in Dubai, the bad eggs have spoiled the good, everybody, So I'm happy with what you're doing. I really wanted to get to know you, how you got into it, but we've gotten a lot from you and we're rounding off. And I would like you to share, what will be your message to that person who wants to japa? because you've done it and is looking at what are the things I must do if I want to succeed in a foreign country?
Yeah, if you want to succeed in a foreign country, I'm going to say that find a dedicated structure for yourself.
Okay.
Of course, I sold some certain things when I was living in Nigeria. In fact, I left Nigeria with 45,000 naira.
Only?
Yes. Though my daughter was there schooling.
Okay.
But again, I sold certain things in order for me to exit. But I'm getting there. I was supposed to get a Nigerian couple, you know, family to do my paperwork, the jackpot with my money.
No
and
way.
I was stranded. Exactly. And I was stranded for like about 3 to 6 months with my daughter. And I was like, okay, how am I going to do
We're not releasing you now. Honestly, you're going to stay with us. Let's take a break.
Yeah. Honestly.
Because I want to get... Yes, we need to
Yes.
hear it in detail. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with this interview. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
I love you too, and I'm going to miss you.
Have a safe trip.
I'm in Dubai.
Stay connected to what matters. Enjoy affordable rates with Glow Data roaming bundles when you travel abroad and no bills shock. Dial *312# and select 5 to choose your data roaming bundle.
You can't believe how beautiful this place is. Look.
For 5,000 naira, you get 125 megabytes. For 10,000 naira, you get 1 gigabyte. And for 25,000 naira, you get 2.5 gigabytes.
So, there is a small problem. Despite all the entertaining ads we've created for you, some of you still haven't tried our services. Come on. First of all, we are a licensed microfinance bank. For instance, you can open a business account with us and get our POS with it. It's good for your business.
I love it.
Our card is the wall. You can open a business or personal account with us in minutes.
Download
the MoneyPoint app or find an agent near you to get started.
Life is full of doubts. But with InDrive, you can set a price for your ride. Choose a top-rated driver and fill your life with pleasures and relaxation during the ride. InDrive, choose a fair price for your ride. Because life is more than daily doubts.
Guys, food is ready.
Suitable for jollof rice, stew, spaghetti, and yam portage. Cooked to impress.
Mom, you see, you taught me well.
In today's world, we forget what truly connects us.
I need my family to come together.
Devon Kings, bringing families together, one bite at a time.
No phones at my table.
This reminds me of the good old days. Thank you for keeping to the family traditions.
Thank you, Mama.
Devon Kings, taste that binds.
Mealtime is game on. Meet my Sure Bet Game Changer, made from natural ingredients to deliver game-changing chicken aroma and taste for my whole team.
Mom, why did we not use this before?
Upgrade your chicken game with game-changing chicken flavor from Maggi Chicken.
Back and thanks for staying with us. So we still have with us Ambassador Onodipe with us, and she was giving us a story. I had to cut it because I didn't want to rush her. Please, you were talking about your experience, and I recollect before we went to the break that you said that when you relocated, the family that was supposed to do your documentation for you took your money and ran away, and they were a Nigerian family in the UAE.
Absolutely, yeah. So while I was running on overstay, because I was already on overstay, so I approached the guy and was like, "Madam, just go to the immigration office and explain yourself." I said, how will I do it? So, I decided to go to the immigration myself. And before I go, I prayed. I said, "God, please just have mercy on me. Please help me, because you know that this thing is not intentional." So upon arriving there, so I'm going to say this to let people know that UAE people, they are very tolerant people. You understand? Upon getting to the immigration, I saw a police guy, and I explained my situation to him. And I said, and he looked at me and said, "Okay, problem, sorry. Okay, go there, tell that guy to write you mercy letter." And I was like, "Oh, mercy letter, is that supposed to be an official name for a letter?" But lo and behold, the guy said, "Okay, no problem." They asked for mercy letter, and I wrote it. And then my overstay was running like about almost 2 million in Naira value.
Okay.
So by the end of the day, they cut it off to just like 200 dirham for me.
Wow.
Yes, yeah. And they told me, please, after then, go and make necessary amendments, which I did. Good. And from there, the guy is just about 24 years old. The police guy introduced me to his mom, who is an immigration officer.
Imagine.
And I was like, wow. We started making a good relationship, and they were like, "Okay, no problem. What's the matter?" They helped me to do my papers.
Challenges bringing opportunity.
Telling you, yeah. So I've gained a lot of opportunities, support in the UAE while I'm still there anyway. You understand? So I want to say that if you have done something wrong, there is no smoke without a fire. These people, when they see that you are trying to take them for granted, that's when they go nuts.
Yeah.
They will give you instances. So
let me ask you this. Because many times we hear, we would hear stories about Nigerians behaving badly in the UAE. And sometimes we feel, is this not the same Nigerians that we know? We are upstanding citizens.
Absolutely.
So sometimes we feel like they're deliberately just trying to make us look bad. Please, could you tell us if there's any iota of truth to these reports, and why are Nigerians acting that way when they get there?
Absolutely. It's a big blow on so many Nigerians, and sometimes I believe that they are just coming from Ikorodu or some local people, bam, just landed in Dubai. So you don't have the foresight of how to behave. So my experience, I have a lot of experience. Like, for example, I was in the bus one day, and I'm just with my 8-year-old daughter, and there are seats for men, for women, and for older people. And upon entering, this guy was seated where women were supposed to be. And normally, you don't have to be told. We're supposed to just stand up automatically. And this guy just sat down there, was looking at me, and I was like, okay. So I was standing. So there was a Kenyan lady that said, "Hey, you, stand up." And the guy just looked at him like this, that, "What are you saying? Who are you?" And, the Kenyan lady started, getting furious and was just talking to him that, "Stand up." And at the end of the day, the guy just said, "Are you okay?" So when he said, "Are you okay?" then I knew that, oh, Niger,
he's your brother.
You understand? I'm most likely Yoruba. So, and I was like, so you're a Nigerian, and you know that where you're seated is not right. You're supposed to stand up automatically for me without you asking. And the guy just looked at me like this and said, "What's wrong with you? If I'm your husband at home, will you tell me to stand up?" And at that point, I just kept quiet. Like, this one, Akolo. I don't want issues. So these are many more things that do happen that all, the police people, they have seen, they are tired. You understand?
But I don't want us to lose sight of the fact that in spite of this, there are obviously, in every country in the
world. You are a shining light.
Exactly, that's what I'm going to say. A lot of Nigerians who are doing great in different fields of endeavor and medicine. So can you spotlight, aside your story, I'm sure there are some people that you've probably worked with, Nigerians who are doing us great, who are changing the narrative.
You are.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You can say that 1 million times. So that's why I created, those activities and platforms, for us to showcase ourselves, because we can't just be there individually. We have to come together to support and to, to let us project that positive image for them to see and know us. And like you said, by the grace of God, that's why anytime they invite me to any event, I go dressed in my Nigerian, African, Yoruba way. So once you see me, you don't ask me, where are you from? You can tell from the way I look. Yeah, so
representing.
Exactly. Though initially I was a bit intimidated, not that intimidated to that far, because I was literally diving myself into the caucus of Dubai people, other nationalities, and that's why I said, don't do Parapo. When you go there,
why do you
So when you say Parapo, because we have people that are non-Yoruba that don't understand what Parapo is. Like Parapo means that you just stay with your own people. You stay with those that speak your language and you're familiar with.
And how can you grow? How can you you understand me? So that has really helped me a lot. I have lots of wonderful local friends, sheikhs and what have you. They literally used to invite me into their chamber whenever they are doing their, they are even to the economic investment, forum. You understand? Even in Sharjah, not just only in Dubai, Abu Dhabi, and other United Arab Emirates. So I've literally carried it on my head. As a typical Nigerian woman representing.
I like what you're doing, and I would like to also ask, are you trying to sort of create a community of Nigerians that are well behaved? You're already mixing with the Arab people. You're already entering their homes, their offices, and they sort of trust you.
Absolutely.
But we still have people from Nigeria who are not doing so well. Is there any plan somewhere to sort of start creating that community where if you belong to this community, we are Nigerians and we must represent our country. We must not steal, we must not lie, we must not do anything that will put our name on the board. Because I remember the last time I went to Dubai, it was so boldly written. There are some places you go to say no Nigerians allowed. I was so ashamed. So do you have that plan somehow to just find people like yourself and start synergize and start making other people behave better?
Apart from the African Change Movement platform that I'm running, that's the only one I have. Though I've been trying to see how to talk to the previous ambassador of Nigerian to UAE and with the consular woman also. I was actually in Abuja also talking to Madam Abike Dabiri, and she was supposed to come for the national celebration Oktoberfest also, but she couldn't come. So I would prefer a situation whereby the ambassador of Nigeria to UAE or the consular can be doing some form of activities, because I went to Cameroon embassy and they were running activities there for their own people.
Okay.
I can do that, but if it's coming from the place of authority,
or just partner with you.
They can partner. You understand me? Of course. So it will be a greater deal.
There'll be more influence.
Absolutely.
You even answered the next question I was going to ask, which was, how are you working with with our office in the UAE? But obviously you're doing it alone. And the reason why I wanted to ask is, we've had situations where women have come on our show to say that they were illegally trafficked to the UAE. And I wanted to know, like, while they were there, like, where can they go for? Because a lot of them will say they didn't know they didn't know who to go to or how to seek help. Like, if someone is watching now in the UAE who's been illegally trafficked, what message would you give to that person?
Oh, okay. The message.
Sorry, I'm putting you on government.
Please. Exactly, that's the point, because I'm not in any way government official.
Yeah, just like maybe a tip or an advice.
That's it. But what I'm going to say is, let them always find the best place for them to thrive, not necessarily mingling up with your African. I mean, you left Nigeria, you left your people. Stop going back there again. There are a lot of platforms meant for other nationalities that UAE has actually created, that people can actually go to. I mean, I'm not trying to come and praise UAE government or Dubai here, but again, they have necessary organizations and programs for people, for people like that. Apart from the fact that each countries, like the Philippines, they literally have like a house for their people as they are coming in, and they don't have place, they just go there to stay. Exactly. But you see our Nigerian people on the grass in Dera, and with their loads, practically with their boxes. Yes, on the street.
Can you imagine?
But I wanted to ask you one final question.
Oh, okay.
Very quickly, because I know that you do so much with women in business and entrepreneurship, and I mean, almost virtually all of us here at this table are women in business. So just wanted you to share some ideas. Women make up more than 60% of the population world over. And you can only imagine, if women continue to thrive and do well in business, how that would impact not just our homes, families, but even the economy at large. So just share with us, how do you think that we can continue to encourage women to actually get into business, empower them, and just from your own experiences, share with us, like, what do you think women need to be doing more right now to be resilient and agile in business and to really break through and continue to ascend higher?
I'm going to say invest in yourself. That's the first thing, and it's very important and it's very key. Once you've been able to have the opportunity to invest in yourself, talking about mentorship, skills, you know, having some advice from, you know, people that I know that have gone ahead of you, or people in line with what you're about to do. Okay. You understand? Personal investment and growth is very, very important. Once you have that, it's like a form of self-actualization, because then you know what you're doing, what you want, and how you need to do it. So all you need to do is to put the strategy into place to proper positioning of yourself with that business that you want to do.
Well done, thank you so much, Ambassador Adeshola Onodipe. Thank you for sharing with us. One of the things what we will definitely bring you back and discuss other things that you do. But for me, one of the things I've learned from you today is you are definitely someone that dares to do whatever idea comes into your mind. True. And you're someone that is resilient when challenges came up. You stood up and stayed the course. And even though we couldn't delve into family life, parenting in the diaspora, all those are topics that I really felt would love to talk about. We couldn't talk about it today, but we are spotlighting her to show Nigerians and show women generally what is possible. Yeah. It is possible in Nigeria, it is possible outside Nigeria, it is possible regardless of what the challenge might be. It is possible even if another Nigerian disappoints you and steals your money and runs away, you can still thrive and build a successful business representing Nigeria positively. And thank you so much for sharing your story with us. It was great having you on the show. We'll take a break now. When we return, we'll go into our hot topic. Stay with us. We will be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
TVC Communications, Nigeria's leading independent broadcast company, has been officially designated as a great place to work. Over the past few years, we have transformed our workplace into one which is respectful, caring, rewarding, and provides great benefits to all our 500 employees. We thank our team for giving us the chance to show that partnership between employer and employee really works. TVC Communications, officially designated as a great place to work, and now the only broadcasting and media company, not just in Nigeria, but throughout continental Africa, to be fully certified. TVC Communications, a great Nigerian company, a great Nigerian place to work.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam results.
My 20 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam results.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejeki, close the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1, Unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Max FM, your hit music radio station, captivates listeners daily across Lagos and Abuja, making every commute more enjoyable. Adaba 88.9 FM is not left out, as it is the voice of Southwest. And on TVC Digital, we reach to million viewers daily. All together, pulls in over 17 million viewers daily. Contact us on 0707-272-8338 or marketing@tvccommunications.tv. Partner with TVC Communications today. Let's grow together.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. The issue of cheating and infidelity has dominated the social media space all through this week, from one celebrity to another. Today on the show, we do not want to discuss the nitty-gritty of those scandals. Very messy. We want to discuss in general how to handle a cheating spouse or partner, how to prevent the situation from falling to the hand of the cheater, how does the cheating affect relationship and marriages, why are people coming out these days to call out their cheating partner on social media, like the social media courts and its effect on marriage crisis, you know, these messy things we're seeing online. Because we are discussing the celebrities that put themselves out there, we brought a celebrity to join the conversation. Joining us in the studio is Eniola Ajao. She's an actress, a producer, breaking barriers, shining the light as a woman in the movie space. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Good to have you. So you can join the conversation by calling us on 090-241-63440. The number will be on the screen. You can screen grab it and call us, or X us on x.com. We hear from you. I would start with the X us. It just feels very, very interesting to say X us on x.com.
I prefer X at us.
X at us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not X us.
Don't X us. X at
we need you. We need you to watch us.
Or you can catch us on YouTube as well. Okay, so obviously the issue around cheating is something we've discussed over and over again on the show. Now, we are not going into the celebrities who brought this into the forefront, but in this case, it actually involved more of a married woman. So when we discuss it on the show, we tend to discuss the cheating man, men are doing this and all of that. So this time we're focusing on just spouse generally. And in the case when it is a woman, how would a man deal with it? Because these celebrities that were involved came to social media to call out the wife and call out the cheaties and listed all the things that, all the people she cheated with, like names, and like he was showing receipts online, embarrassing the entire family.
What, like I said, the cheater or the
husband? The complainer was
the embarrassing.
The cheated on.
So exactly, how do we now deal with it? That exactly is a very good point. In dealing with the situation, he brought the entire situation to social media and thereby putting the family and what happened on the forefront. I felt it was embarrassing for the family for him to do it. And Mariam is just telling me that, no, the woman who cheated actually is the one who embarrassed the entire family. How is it best to deal with when you discover stories about cheating? And we hope we don't find ourselves in this situation, but someone watching probably is going through it.
Right. You know, we're not going into the details of the story we're talking about, but because I just have some context, I want to say that I think that there's a difference between cheating and terrible bad behavior. Like this one is beyond cheating. When you have multiple partners, you're involved with multiple partners over and over and over again, then maybe it's not cheating we're dealing with here. Maybe we're dealing with sexual addiction. Maybe we're dealing with an illness, and that makes it even very dangerous for your spouse and your family, you know, to be around that sort of thing. This would require you, as the person involved, to get help. I remember when Tiger Woods and his wife had issues. You know, at first, when it was the first one, second one, but eventually people realized that he had so many sexual partners. It became a case of, see, it's not that I can't forgive cheating, but this is a problem. Go and get help. And I feel that we need to be able to separate that there's some people that have a problem and they need help. But when we talk about cheating, see, yes, I always say that cheating happens for many reasons. There's some people, there's a culture really, especially with men, although we're talking about women here, but with men, that culturally we don't have cheating in Africa per se, because a man is allowed to be polygamous, he's allowed to have so many, yes, in his nature, he's allowed to have different women, and so we may not really call it cheating per se. And because of that culture, some men just feel that, you know, they've been given the right to do it. But if with better training and better education and awareness and understanding boundaries and, you know, telling your partners, each other, what I expect, what I want, you see some people actually change their behavior. A lot of people just go in because this is what they think is expected of them. Then the one that has done something wrong and has come, you know, and that person is remorseful and has decided to, let's have a conversation with my partner, whether male or female. This I did and I hurt you, I'm sorry, and I'm going to take the steps to do better. As long as the person is remorseful and you're willing to forgive, I think many people can move on from a cheating spouse. Many people can work around it and, you know, work past it, as long as the cheater does what is necessary to reconcile and also build trust again. But I feel that those ones that are constantly on the road doing all sorts of things, please, for your sake, for your sanity, just let them go and handle themselves in some treatment house. Yes.
I think that if we're going to create definitions for cheating, it goes beyond. There's scopes and levels to it. For instance, if I'm in a relationship or I'm married and I'm carrying on in communication with somebody who's not my husband, the opposite sex, we're having conversations consistently before you know it, emotions are getting into it. Attached. I would say that cheating has started to happen emotionally, because the attention that I would typically or should give my husband is now being given to somebody else. If I'm entertaining inordinate thoughts about somebody who's not my partner or my husband, and I'm feeding those thoughts are running amok, cheating is already beginning to happen. So when we try to create, there are layers to cheating. It's, you know, and I don't know if we now say, oh, there's a psychological aspect to it. Some people can be nymphomaniacs and they need help. But regardless, it is something that causes an inordinate amount of pain and trauma to the person who suffers. Now, when it comes to women cheating, I want to say it's probably or most likely two things. It may be that our mothers are also used to cheat, but they just had a good way of covering it up. Because I don't want to believe that all of this is just happening now.
People have started.
No, maybe it is again. Because you know that men. No, it's just a thought. Let's put it out on the table. Right. Maybe because men have this thing of, oh, I'm a man, so they're brazen about theirs. But we as women, you know, we know that society has put us, you know, in a cage, and so we inside that cage things are happening. So it's possible that our mothers were cheating, but they know. And if a woman wants to, let's be honest.
Their mothers.
If a woman wants to run game here, we all went to uni. We saw what our roommates were doing. You will hold down 7 boyfriends. Nothing they happen.
Nothing they happen.
So it's either that or a second thought. Maybe women now are not our mothers and say, you know what, enough of this. I'm done with this. No man, if you cheat on me, I cheat back times 10. You know, and so women now have risen and said, no, I am not my mother. If you cheat on me, I cheat back, and I cheat with your best friend or your father.
Jesus Christ.
I cheat with your father, and
you're going to places that.
But I think that women in this
those two categories,
do you know what lucky women are doing?
You are calling names of places.
I'm not calling anybody, but do you know what lucky women?
Because me and you are living there.
Yes, that's why I know.
Before they start looking at us,
It's really sad.
So my thoughts exactly, Chika. I've always said this on this table now. Society excused bad behavior for men. And women had to find a way to survive. And I always ask people, go to your family and check properly. There's always one cousin that does not look like every other person. There's always one mixing somewhere, which tells me, which tells me that they have been sorting themselves for a very long time. But because, they know that society will crucify the woman, they found a way to do it smartly, codedly, and hide it under the carpet. It's now when the results show, because for a woman, your results can easily catch up with you when you carry belly come house. But a man, paternity they've been doing. Exactly. Will not be your own. So it has been happening. So it has been happening. I just think now that women are more bold to just go around it. But aside from that as well, I like the way you and Miriam had broken down the cheating stuff. We need to really define it so that we understand what we're dealing with per time. So the emotional cheating is there. The serial cheating, which is you have a problem, that one is there. The cheating that we likely talk about most of the time is like the one-off. But when it now becomes like you have kept or two-offs. But when you now... I can lead to 3. Yeah, no. But when you now keep one person or those people for years and years on end, it becomes an affair. That one, you have divided yourself into 2. One part with your husband, the other part, take care of every other person. The other, So that is the one that I know that men find it very difficult to forgive. And when we're saying how can a man deal with cheating partner, they really don't deal with cheating. They kick you out. Absolutely. Yes, it's women that deal with cheating. They kick you out. It's women that deal with cheating. You know your husband is cheating. You instead of facing the man, you go and fight the woman. You stay in denial. Oh, let me focus on my children. But a man, it's very difficult. And I hear that there are some men who still find a way to forgive, but they don't forgive their affairs. Because the questions they ask in that forgiving phase is, how long? Did you enjoy it? How many times? Did you shave? Where were you people meeting? It's a breakfast show. Where were you people meeting? How long? Do you understand? So for a one-off, they find a way to, if they can. Not every man can. But that affair, you just need to take yourself out of the place. Men can't really deal with it. Absolutely. They might look like they are forgiven, but they will never forget. So, see, I'm putting you up, my wonderful guest. People, see, the only thing me is movies. Because before, I used to think all these things only happen inside film. There is Nollywood that is polluting our mind. Until now, when social media has shown us that... imitates life. That social media is not showing us people by themselves are putting themselves out there. They are calling out their wife, putting picture of text messages that they found on their wife's phone. So I'm like, maybe I should stop blaming Nollywood for how they painted it. But do you think that Nollywood contributed to some of the things we're saying now? Nollywood has given people how to do it. Nollywood has shown us the different ways we can scheme and how we can run our runs.
That is not true. I think cheating is a personal thing. If cheating is in your blood, you know. You just depending on your background, actually, where you're coming from. It could be a man or a woman. Cheating is just something that is in you that you really want to do, not because society is saying this. I want to say my industry is not changing anybody. Nollywood is not changing. An actress being a wayward person, depending on where you're coming from, depending on your background, then that shows, around you and what you do.
I'll take a call before. I was going to put her on the spot there, but the biggest challenge we're having now is Nollywood actresses that are not launching Lambo, doing shape, buying house, doing everything. Is it from movie industry? And their male counterparts. First, I'll leave you time to think about the answer because you have it. Welcome to the show. Good morning.
Hello. Hello.
Yes, Abubakar. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much. You have a very interesting, topic there, and. I think it's what my contribution.
Okay.
First and foremost, I just want to ask, do you really think men cheat? Because you talk about men cheating on their spouses, people cheating on their spouses. The first question I want to really say is, do men really cheat? You know, we as Africans, let us forget that we are men, which wires us to have more than one wife. Let us not agree. No, please don't be shocked. I'm watching you. We as Africans, we as Africans, you know, we marry more than one. But let us look at the present trend where people want to marry only just one woman. The other day, I watched a program on this here with a doctor who said that if you are able to give your husband 21, you know what I mean?
In a month,
month,
out of 30.
Yes, in a month. Yeah, out of 30, and that you're happy. I'm asking the question. 5 of you, is there any of you who can give your husband 21?
We ask you as well, sir. Mr. Abubakar.
Can you deliver?
Can you deliver on Monday 21?
Can you deliver your constituency?
And everything you are doing? That's the answer. We just answered ourselves with the laughter.
But I'm asking a question.
We answered.
But what I really want to say is that what I want to really say is that you see, men don't really cheat. The problem most men don't cheat. The problem is the woman. One of you made mention of the fact that a woman can come home with you.
Are you still there? Oh, so sorry, Abubakar.
Women.
Okay.
So yes. So that's why men fight with this. So when you talk about people cheating, I don't think men cheat.
Oh, okay.
We are only protecting the women when we go out. Or if the woman is unable to satisfy the man, then you expect him to go out. This is exactly what I think.
Wow. Do you ask for permission?
So what?
If she's unable to deliver and you need it, do you ask her for permission?
It's unable to. There are things that we do in marriages. You know that,
Mr. Abubakar. I don't. The patriarchy in you is 1000%. As the way you see this world is very, very wonderful. We'll take a break. We need to drink water out of that conversation. When we return, we'll continue with the show, and we hope to hear from men that understand that men cheat. Yes. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Here we go.
Do you think you can outplay me in this game of wits and knowledge? Can you go 7 rounds without flinching? I meant answering 7 questions correctly. How well can you hold your liquor? If you're curious, then join us for the most exciting conversation and games with your favorite celebrities on 7 of 7.
Welcome to Pure Entertainment. What would you like to order from our menu today? We have the regulars.
So let me go and look for my jam.
My 280 was 320. I suppose don't be one medical.
At this point, I contest my jam.
I want to close the show.
I can go. I can.
That's all we can take. Ejek can close the show. Give Adala.
Ladies and gentlemen, number 1 unavailable by Davido featuring Musa Keys.
We also have today's chef special.
Yo, shine, 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 shiny, yeah. Here we have done, and it's time for number 1 on the countdown. One of Nigeria's hottest artists right now. His name is Rema, and this one is called Charm. Kick it.
Another.
For dessert and a bit of nightcap, we have the nighttime and online specials.
I want to start the gym, yeah? But do you know one thing that's actually keeping me back? You should start the gym, though. You're getting fat. Cricket.
She says
Now you can catch up with your favorite programs on TVC. Log on to www.youtube.com/TVC Entertainment. Join the fun.
Or pure love.
Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. So we are still discussing this cheating matter. And the last caller, do we still have a table on that? No, is there any leg on that? Because the man scattered the leg on that. What you are seeing right now is a mirage. The man said that men don't cheat. Like it is not a possibility.
Women are the problem.
That women are. To a show where there's all women are. No, it was very, very big.
But you know, there's something that BC touched on that I wanted to highlight. You know, BC, you spoke about the fact that some men will forgive their spouses if their women, if they cheat, depending on if it was a one-off thing or if it's a an affair, for instance. But you know, before now, we used to be of the school of thought that for a woman to cheat, regardless of whether it's one-off or consistent, there's emotion involved. This was what it used to be. That for a woman to go all the way, that is hard. We're not like men where if we just see something, if we see third leg dangle, with our body don't stand. So for a woman to go all the way, it means that emotions and heart has become attached. But do you think it's still true as at today?
I disagree. So for me, I think modern times, a lot of things have changed. Many things have become transactional. Relationships are not based on values anymore, you know. So even then, when you cheated because you found out you're falling in love with someone else. But now is that you want a new car, you want something, you just want a relief, or you want excitement, you know, or you just want to take revenge on somebody who has hurt you, so that the person knows exactly how you feel. And also, we're in a world where we're constantly saying, you know, it's me, myself, and I. If he hurts you, hurt them back. You know, there used to be a time where the woman really was expected to forgive and forget and move on and look at the bigger picture, because in the end, after many years, somehow, you know, God will compensate her for her perseverance and endurance. So, but we're not there anymore. Now we're where people will give you back as you give them. There's just so many things that have changed, and because of that, men, I think, are finding it harder to be, you know, to accept the reality. There's a difference also in the way marriages are these days. When BC said that a man before, if a man cannot accept cheating, if it happened, he will just kick you out. But how do you kick out a wife who owns the house, or the wife who pays rent, or the wife who brings 50-50 or maybe much more? So there's no one to kick out. And so I feel that in modern times that you may have men who are sitting down having a conversation with their wives about what's the way forward? How can we work this out? As long as it is not plastered on social media and the whole world knows about it, let's sit down and talk about it. Let's make this work. Because you cannot throw them out. You've built a life, you have children, you've built family, you've built business. She's contributed just as much as you have. So let's make this work. Women used to fight the other person because she knows that this is the man that brings. So she cannot fight the breadwinner. Good. She cannot fight bread. So she fights the person that is coming into her territory. See, I've caught this man and I'm protecting my territory. Let me keep my cake. Stay out. Don't take a piece of my cake. But when the women are also contributing 50% to 80% of the cake, then the conversation changes. After all, add a little. You've heard some people who say that, especially those who can marry more than one wife, where the second or third wife comes in and says, I thought this man was the Odogo. I did not realize it was first wife was actually the Odogo. Case in point. You know, so there's nothing here. It's actually the woman that has the money. So
let me take Yomi. Yomi, welcome to the show. Sorry for keeping you waiting.
Sorry about that. Yeah. So I like you have said just the answer, right? Let me just add a few things. So I think now we have become more selfish. And everybody is now seeking for their happiness. We have redefined happiness to mean me putting myself first before every other person. Our mothers did not have an opportunity to define happiness like that. It was about family. Happiness was seen to be family, your children. The success of your children was what happiness meant to them at the time. But now, everybody's now looking at you. Children will always find their way. Children will always survive. Let me think about me first. And also because of the swap of the roles. Before, it was the patriarch who would be responsible for bringing the yam and the bread in the house. But now you have people doing as much as even doing more than you most of the time. And so when it comes to that cheating, you're asking yourself, if you can go outside with, even me, I'm the one giving you the money and you're using my money to chase women, why can't I, right? So that's what has happened. That's why it seems like there's a change right now. And it's getting worse. It's also getting worse because now you hear a lot of conversations like, why do I even need to marry in the first place? Let's just be partners. Why do I need to, okay, you have a call. Go ahead.
Let me take this call before we go into that area of the conversation. Pastor Lunge, welcome to the show.
Hello, how are you?
Hello,
yes, this Pastor Lunge, VOA Lunge from Ikotwe.
Pastor Lunge, welcome to the show.
Yeah. Now, I just want to say a little about what you're saying, though it's a very strong topic. Many people will get it wrong. Now, one of the major issues is that marriage is not a child's play. It's not meant for children. It's meant for adults. I get it. That's one. Two, is that if you understand what marriage is, you will understand what it means to cheat. Cheating out of marriage, to me, I see that the marriage vow that you had during your wedding day is not a commitment to the woman alone. It's a commitment to God. So if I see it as a commitment to God, then going out to go and sleep with another woman, I am not doing it. It's not a. I'm not. How will I put it now? I'm not sinning against my wife. I'm committing sin against God. I get it now. So no matter how it goes, first thing, the fundamental is that the man going out to go and have extramarital affair outside is because he does not understand the purpose of the institution. The woman who does it too, it shows that he doesn't understand the purpose of the institution. If both of them understand the purpose of the institution, they will not cheat. That is one. Two, you see, this westernization has brought in so many things into this marriage institute. Most of us, we look at what happens in America, this and that. You know, it doesn't work. Marriage is not a copycat. It's not something you copy people and you bring it in. No. It is not a copycat life. It's a personal journey. It has to do with you, your wife, your family, and God. And secondly, thirdly, is that both parties should learn to understand each other. Yes, once in a while, maybe the man or the woman may, make mistakes. We should come back to the round table. My dear, this thing, I've done this, and we should learn to forgive one another. If there is forgiveness, that is why you see some men still go outside. So they find it that even if I tell my wife, she won't forgive me. So let me bust it and let me continue with what I'm doing. And that is another level. The other level I also want to talk to round up is that.
Wow. Are you still there?
Lost him.
Oh, sorry. Thank you so much for the things you shared, though. I love the perspective of the purpose. When the purpose of a thing is not known, abuse is inevitable. And I like the fact that you brought us back to what's the purpose of marriage. It's a commitment to God, to honor the person you're in a relationship with and raise godly children. And when you realize it, put it in that context. As a pastor, I love it. It was just so interesting because sometimes you just get into the gist and we gist it without realizing the impact this thing is having on every other person involved. On the children, especially when they are calling out on social media. And
let's talk about that calling out on social media.
Your people.
Why is she
your community?
What happened?
Why is she disgraced of this?
Because she's celebrity.
For here and
I know that she's a very gentle celebrity, but how come you are gentle in the crowd of all of this, your people? Why are people doing like this? Because we're not creating a system where people feel like it's normal that if my partner offends me, I can
go on social media.
I can screen grab and post it
social
online.
Media their life? Like, I keep asking myself that question, like, this is not my life. Why do I have to take personal things on social media to discuss? Those people that are discussing your matter, when have you seen them like bring their own children out you know, their family to discuss, you know, about their own issues, because everybody has one or two things they are dealing with. Do you understand? And you never see them bringing their family out. You know, you need to apply your thing. Yes.
Yeah. Like is it therapeutic in some way? At
the end of the day, anything that goes on social media doesn't get resolved. Like the womb.
I like that you said that because I don't think social media is for resolution.
And I'm sorry,
I think it's for vengeance.
Another thing is because those people are making money out of their, you know,
they're paying
because of monetization, and they're not getting to know this.
Yeah, now you are going to the real thing.
You're not getting, like, the earlier they get, you know, to understand what is going
make money from it now.
Those people don't do anything. That is what that is their work. That's where they get money. They get money off celebrities. Yes. Known people.
So those blogs, Abby?
Those bloggers.
How about people themselves? How about celebrities themselves that come out and talk about those personal issues? Why do they do that?
That's why I said probably they are looking for what is not, because if you're looking for how do I put it, unnecessary drama or attention or
I think it might be
fame.
Revenge.
So people are looking for
it might be
fame.
revenge. If that's most of the reactions are usually they're like reactionary. They are things as is boiling you. As that emotion is rising, people just posted it. We saw what Two-Face said now. I said what I said. Because when he posted it, at the point he came back to say, maybe I shouldn't have posted it.
I heard he was
then later, he was like, I said what I said.
But you see, the revenge thing, the effects that people typically used to feel before now, when something like this comes out and you say, oh, I want to get back at you, the effect is not as much as it used to be.
People are now shameless.
Yes. So if a woman we are knowing that this wife, her husband said 21 men, she's still granting interviews and she's going to go about living her life, and the backlash is not even as bad as it would have been, say, 20 years ago.
We're now more compassionate.
Yes.
No, we're not compassionate. What has happened to our moral fiber?
It has died. It has.
I want to come to you.
We are more compassionate to women now, because we just saw Equatorial Guinea a few moments ago. How many in Kari? Did they kill him? In fact, men were like, he's a man, he's a this. So when he's a woman, why do you want to crucify? Do you understand? People are now saying that we are human beings. Right
She's
now.
addressing the shame. The thing is, the culture of shame.
Yes, has reduced.
When that kind of thing happens to a woman or a man or anybody, you will not. You just hide. You don't want anybody to see you. But now, even Tiwa Savage sang about it. They say, you cannot. The sex tape cannot destroy my life. She put it in the song. Like, I've done it. So.
But I don't like it when we use that as if to say she was saying it's okay to just be promiscuous. She was talking about. What she said, though. I think she was just trying to say that in my own understanding is that, okay, I've done something bad and you decided to just blackmail me with it. That would not destroy me. So
not necessarily about being shameless.
Yes, not necessarily that she was shameless. I've done something. You know, many times we do things wrong, but privately, and we handle it. But then someone else would decide, you know what? I'm going to make sure I finish you. Everybody will know about you and everything. So when you come out to say that will not destroy me, it's not to say that what I did to you was wrong. I recognize I did that, but the way you have decided to handle it, I will not let that break me. I will not let that stop me. So I think it's different, so that we don't, because when we don't mix it up and then give people the idea that we were saying,
but Mariam, I actually believe that we have people have become more shameless about on social media for whatever reason, and I don't know if you see that as well, and what do you think might be contributing to the increase in people I just come out and just do anyhow.
Say whatever, do whatever.
Well, I think because social media is becoming a place whereby people, you know, make money. Yes, and they just feel like, oh, I have to do something terrible for me to trend. You know, to trend or for me to get known. So with peace of mind or with me just, you know, going peacefully on social media, I don't get traction, I don't get this, nobody knows. But whenever somebody, you know, does something terrible, they just feel like, oh, people start talking about this person, the person start getting engagement, you know, start trending, they start following the person. So they just in their brain like, I think this is the way.
Thank you. Social media is rewarding bad behavior.
Yes. Who is behind the social media that is rewarding bad behavior?
All of us. We are rewarding bad behavior.
But it's always been like that.
Complaining
we praise
about
money when a
reality.
60-year-old is driving a car. The mother will allow you and say, "Now my pikin be that." You don't question
how the person.
We lord money regardless of where it comes from. So we've been rewarding bad behavior from I don't know for the longest time.
And then we now have a bigger platform to do it. So it aggravates the ills in our society. It can be an aggravation platform for the ills in our society. Just the same way it can be a platform that celebrates and encourages the good. It's just what we now see more.
They'll say the good is boring.
Yes, what we see more of is the bad thing that is happening around.
I can't wait for a time where things will turn around. Honestly. Where we'll be so excited about people doing that good will become so scarce, we'll be excited when it happens.
Okay.
I feel that the reason why we're celebrating evil or chasing it and putting our energy into it is because it's more exciting, right? Good is what is expected to happen. But when we now live in a world that bad is constantly happening, and then someone does good, you'll be like, oh,
I see. Like
someone has done something.
Becomes the case.
It's like, oh my God,
she's so amazing.
She's so amazing. She didn't cheat.
But bringing it back to helping spouses that are going through this challenge. Because we've spoken about the fact that this is, and I like the fact that you highlighted the emotional trauma that comes with, like, all of the insecurities that this will rear up. For women, many women tend to deal with a lot of personal insecurities when they find out that their partner cheated, because it'll be like, what am I not doing? Am I not enough? Am I not cooking? Am I not, like, what did he want that I did not give to him? I can't place it that a man will be thinking,
no,
was I not doing enough?
No, the man just thinks,
No, they think it. Men also question if why I've been sort of was I not doing well in the other room?
Yes.
Why would he cheat?
Yeah.
Why would she cheat? Am I not taking care of her financially? Why was she looking for outside? So there's that. It happens both ways. But because it's personal, we can only relate from our own worldview.
But it happens. Saying that what I see women do is, they completely put the blame on themselves. But a man comes to the point where he's like, you are the one. You are just a rotten egg. You are the problem. Like men are able to accept that you are the problem.
And detach from themselves.
Not me.
But the woman would take it upon herself that she has done something wrong.
Let's talk about when the world knows. It is easier for you to move on when it's just husband, wife, the two of you know. You can forgive each other and move on. But how do you deal with this scenario when the world knows? Like maybe a friend now comes to tell you that, bros, I just make I tell you, everybody for gym, don't knock your wife for.
Everybody.
So how do you deal with it? When it's public?
You just have to stay away.
You stay away from?
I told you you're talking about social media.
No, like public, social media, public.
The man brings it out.
Yes.
If you are the
everybody
wife,
knows,
and the husband has now brought it out.
I would say just say silence and deal with the, within the family. Do not bring it out anymore.
Yeah.
Do not go out.
Don't publicize it further.
Exactly, because if it's on social media and it's in the hearing of a lot of people, it's like nothing is going to happen. It will never be settled.
Peradventure, this Natasha and Senator Natasha and Senate President Akpabio, peradventure, there is evidence of something. And we have already made the harassment claim public. Peradventure, Senator Natasha now releases evidence.
That is true.
That is true. How would the wife who has come out to make public declaration react to this kind of scenario? Peradventure.
He go hide himself in shame.
Yes.
So in that kind of dynamic, right? I always believe that the wives know. Forget what they come out and say. You know your husband.
Not
you marry. No, calm down. We like to live in denial, women, most of the time. You just want to pray it away, wish it away, and ignore it away. But a woman who is, every woman is naturally observant. Except you don't want to use, exactly, naturally. It comes with the territory. Then they born you, then they born detective. Except you don't want to use it, right? So you already know your partner. You've been married for 20 years, you say you don't know your husband. It's a lie. You know. But because you are the wife and they are dragging your husband, we always think it's the right thing to come and stand beside your husband. Sometimes they even plan it in the bedroom, you know, say, I beg, we will come out, or come support me. Maybe they say we love each other, let's kiss outside and all of that. They know. If you check the history of, you know, things, the way it has happened, you will see at the end of the day, when the marriage finally packs up, you hear the woman say that I actually knew. They know. Even those men that abuse small girls, the wives know. Sometimes the wives are complicit. So she'll just hide her head in shame and like, you see, maybe I don't the one you sin, say you go bring our leg, come outside. Yeah, but I wanted to talk about how to handle cheating when it has gone public. Like, I agree with you when you said people bring things public when they want a sort of a form of revenge. They may not have thought it through.
In the heat of the moment.
In the heat of the moment, you bring it and then you realize that, I shouldn't have. But you know in your heart that if you really want to work it out, you would not bring it out. Because then, even when two of you have forgiven yourselves, the world will not forgive. They will. Anytime they see two of you,
no, be that one.
God help you can't celebrate that person.
I'm telling you, that's the end. You know, so I just think at that point where he's already in the, just everybody should just pack their bag and go. The reconciliation we see does not last if we look at it through. You can reconcile.
You know what you said is also why a lot of people used to say to people that whatever happens within your marriage, just keep it between the two of you. Because what happens is that you may forgive, but your mother-in-law will not forgive.
But we've not spoken about the impact on children. And we don't realize that in the momentary, at the moment you are expressing yourself, there are other people involved because you're trying to express that in that moment. I see stuff on social media that is just ill in my mind. Now, there's no reason for this. There's no reason for us to go this far. But people are doing it because in that moment, they're expressing themselves. They're not realizing that you have children together.
You now go back and regret.
You have children together and you're putting something out there that your children will see. The people will refer to this concerning your children, and we must put that into cognizance. Obviously, the topic of cheating in every scenario is not going to end because from time immemorial, it has been happening. In the future, it will still happen. We just pray it does not come close to home. We pray it doesn't come close to home.
So how can we stop this?
I don't think the conversation is ever would be about stopping. We'll be lying to ourselves.
It's managing it.
Yes.
It's managing
the reason why I feel in Africa or some religions that have sort of accepted it is Africa, they will tell you a man is meant to be that way. A woman would accept that because, and for a bit, she's able to accept that. Some religions are able to let you know that this is what is acceptable, and you see some women are accepting that. So if you have that, that will help. But secondly, how to deal with it is what you should be talking about way forward. The more we talk about it, the more people have better information on how they want to live their lives. As a husband, what is expected of me? We had a caller who said, as far as it's concerned, men don't cheat. And that's because society says to him, men don't cheat, you're allowed to do that. But with conversations like this, another man is thinking, oh, I see how this can affect my marriage. I see how it can affect my children. And for people who are spiritual, they will tell you that when you hurt your wife, you hurt yourself. You hurt the family, you hurt your business.
I don't like the
There's some people that lose work, that lose money because they are stepping out on their families. Both ways. A woman, if you're out, stepping out on your family,
you also lose favor.
There are some things, you lose favor. So when people have the conversation beyond, oh, it's just emotional, and start thinking about how this can also spiritually affect us and how it can mentally affect our children and their upbringing and their confidence, then I think people will be more careful how they decide to interact with other people, or how they decide to behave as married men and women.
Let's take a few comments on YouTube. Please, can you look through? Do you realize I just noticed that you have braids and twist on?
Yes.
Oh, just before we read comments, I was just going to say that I honestly feel like she said management of it, right? Is when cheating happens, it's two things. So are you going to stay or are you going to walk away? I've heard many women in recent times now say, oh, cheating is not a deal breaker for me. And I think that might be to what extent it happens, right? Because to be honest, they'll tell you if you are leaving your marriage because your husband has cheated. Now we're seeing a lot of married women who left their homes because their husbands were cheating and they have got to follow somebody else's husband. We have so many even in your industry.
Is it only her industry?
just to refer back.
Marketers are there. Teachers are there. Everybody, every industry.
Your industry
is in the limelight.
Is in the limelight.
You know, so our guest said hospitals are there.
Hospitals are there.
Some people have called out nurses and doctors.
Doctors is terrible.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody's doing.
But you know, as we round off, you know, I think that we've shared a whole lot, and in bringing into some of the things that are really important for us to put on in our mind is that, like Mariam said, the quality of family you want to have must be in your consciousness. Even when you discover cheating, that quality of family you want to have would influence how you would go about resolving it. Whether you go online to post the chat you discovered, or whether you have the conversation with family and friends. It's based on the vision you have for your family. And I really want to once again appreciate the pastor who put into perspective that the idea of cheating is not about the human being you're having a relationship with, but the fact that you are stepping out of your commitment that you made in presence of God. So for those that their religion and their relationship with God is very important, have that consciousness. But somebody has come on our show today. This my sister here, she has one cap. Owambe thieves. She has one T-shirt. Owambe. It is impossible for us to end this show without talking about Owambe thieves. I think we have a clip, so let's just roll that.
Ladies and gentlemen, say,
You use the Shegu Josie to do.
Yes, so what's Owambe thieves about?
It's about family, about love. It speaks against bigotry. It speaks in support of the unity of our nation. It's a film that it's for everybody. Children, elderly people,
comedy?
Yes, it is. So people look forward to see Owambe thieves come April 18th in all cinemas.
So it's not about thieves. It's not about thieves.
I don't wait, but it's in the cinemas.
Yes, coming to April 18th to be in the cinemas.
Can't wait. Looking forward to it.
Yeah, so April 18th.
I see my
who are the so who are the main, who are the actors?
Zubi Michael,
my God,
Williams, Toriola, Papa.
Who is backrolling you? Small big God.
After the success of Majakaju, we decided to do something that cut across everybody.
Amazing. Well done.
Thank you so much.
How has it been though, producing this, promoting it as a producer?
Yes, you know, putting money out there to to do your promotion, your marketing, a lot of things already. You know, billboards.
But you made a lot of splash with Beast of Two Worlds. So I believe that this Owambe Thieves is going to be.
I didn't make much from cinema.
Yeah.
No, I did not.
So I hear these days.
Yes.
It wasn't much.
But this is also cinemas as well.
Yes.
But just cinemas, or you're hoping that we'll be able to watch it on other platforms? Netflix,
obviously, because you
YouTube.
just have to go to cinema first before they can take it from you. And depending on the success of the cinema.
We
so
wish
it's
you
crazy
all
right
the
now.
very
We wish you all the
that
best.
everybody's going to the cinema. Everybody's going to cinema right now.
Yes.
We wish you all the very best. This is the clip we have is beautiful, and I want people to look forward to it. Make it a date on the 18th of April. Show up at all the cinemas and watch Owambe Thieves. Promises to be fun.
Excited.
Thank you for joining our conversation. Even though I was throwing jabs at you throughout just for fun, it was all good. We love when we have women here who are doing amazing things in their field, and we've had a show packed full of phenomenal women. Even see my ladies now. It's not when you get here, you just shine differently, Sha. So that's what we can take on today's show. Join us tomorrow for another exciting edition. Till then, bye.
Bye.